Salve. Let's play some Total War Rome Remastered. And continuing more or less right where we left off last time, the Siege of Enna. Final city of the Mamertines in Sicily. They do have one more island after this, but this is their biggest stronghold and where most of their army is currently. Well, what's left of it anyway. I've already deployed the troops. For some reason I didn't get a general speech this time round. Probably it's because I left the game, or I quit the game and then I loaded it back in before the battle or something. It could be something to do with that. I genuinely don't know, but yeah. Anyways, the siege engines, the ballistas, are already working on the towers. I do want to take the two towers out before I, sorry, before we, what's wrong with my throat? Grab something to drink, there we go. Better. So before we actually start storming the place, and it's going to take a little bit to get them down. They're tiny targets as well. It's not the ballista's fault. It's actually fairly accurate. So let's just move them like this, let's say. And of course, once we've deleted the towers out of existence, that allows me to move in the archers into pretty much any position I want and use them to their full capabilities and extent. And I'm gonna need to use them because the enemy has quite a few units and some of our troops are depleted. I'm currently on, well, just this unit of Brigapes is a little bit worn down. Starting are all fine, and we do have some really nice upgrades to weapons. Some of the units have armor upgrades, some don't, but weapons we all have fairly decent ones, so yeah. Alright, so with that done, the ballista can go to the back of the line. And we're just going to slowly move in with the infantry. Behind battering rams. Today, I have been looking into, a little bit, Imperial Surrectum newest update. It hasn't released yet, but it's coming together and will release soon. And good God. Okay. I have some problems with IS. I prefer mods that stick a little bit closer to the vanilla game. Part of that reason is nostalgia, I'm not gonna lie. I like this game because I grew up playing it, right, 2005, 2006 or so, I think. The age before the internet, as I say. We had internet in the country, but I didn't have internet. And a lot of my friends didn't. We used to go to internet cafes to for our internet needs and stuff. And I mentioned that a little bit already, how we didn't know anything about the game, and you couldn't look up tutorials or something along those lines because you don't have internet at home, right? So we would learn from each other. We would teach each other things, and it was awesome. And part of the reason why I love the game so much is because of that, and it's the nostalgia of the units, and the map, and all of that. Gameplay in general, how the game feels, that I really like. And so Imperial Surrectum is completely different. It's a complete overhaul mod. And so I have some, not really problems with it. I like the mod, it's just that I prefer mods like this, which stick closer to the original. However, Imperial Surrectum 0.6, I think, or 0.7, I'm not sure what the latest update is that they're working on, is insane. The map is even bigger than MD. The units, the cultures, the rosters, the gameplay features, the AI, everything is just so good. Someone said it in the comments, it's not a mod, it's a work of art. I get the feeling the mod authors of that mod put more work, more effort, and more hours into making that free mod for us than CA and development companies have spent on the latest few historical titles of Rome, or of Rome, sorry, of Total War. I genuinely do. I feel like there's more work and more effort and more love put into that mod than Pharaoh or what was the other one, the half history, half fantasy one with God, it's Trojan War and stuff like that, right? That one, I forget the name of it, but well, case in point, right? I forget the name of it. That's how good it is. I mean, to be fair, it's not all bad. Some of those games really have good, interesting features and experiments and stuff like that, like the resources and that whole idea from the name of the game, which I've forgotten and still cannot remember. That's a great idea, and I would love to see that implemented in a good Total War game, right? It's they have good elements, but they don't make up a good whole, if that makes any sense, unfortunately. But yeah. Anywho, General's Bodyguard with 92 bodyguard units. That's quite a bit. I would like to try and at least cut down on those numbers a tiny bit before something. Are they going to move in with the Peltas? I will abuse the AI in sieges. It is not above me. Absolutely will. Okay, can we post up like that and maybe try and... Oh yeah. Let's do it, folks. Alright, those are the same mercs as before, but... Yeah, because it's mercenary hoplites, I'll let you keep shooting them. They're a tough target. I'd like to get rid of them if at all possible. Well, I also understand full well you need to back off in order to do that. Okay, that's good, that's good. Ceasefire, I think it's time we start taking the city.
Our soldiers have done well this day. The walls are taken.
I don't care much about the skirmisher horsemen. In melee, they're just gonna melt. But I do care about this massive blob of infantry and stuff. Again, mostly peltasts and spearmen and stuff. That should all melt upon contact with the upgraded Hastati. Because Hastati are they're on paper they're like a tier 1 unit, or technically tier 2, because Town Watch and Peasants should be tier 1, right? And then this would be tier 2, and then tier 3 would be Principes. So on paper, they're a tier 2 unit. In reality, with these stats, they're closer to a tier 3 unit than a tier 2 unit. But regardless of the fact, ooh, we could definitely use this street. This is a nasty settlement to defend, because the streets that lead to like this open area before the plaza are very short. So you don't have a lot of space to maneuver and stuff. So yeah, I think we're definitely going to be making use of this. But remember, we are in no rush, so... Move everybody in slowly. Something off with my voice today. I did record a little bit, but not that much. I can hear it like cracking and sounding just generally a little bit off. Okay, didn't throw Peeler on any of these units, so there's your chance. Go get them. And they're exhausted. Man, they've been just running back and forth. That's incredibly stupid. But we could say Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking for a little bit. We could say that part of the reason why they're exhausted is they haven't had anything to eat in a very long time. I've been sieging the settlement for a while, so I reckon it makes sense that some of the units would be a bit tired and grumpy. And they are taking attrition damage from the siege, so what else would it be if not a slight case of starvation? Of course, it's not just that. The idea behind siege attrition is that you're losing troops to, like, artillery bombardment, skirmishes, and camp and stuff like that, and, you know, raids and supply, and etc., etc. That was kind of the idea with... it's kind of the idea with losses in sieges to begin with, and only in some of the latest iterations of Total War games do both sides suffer siege attrition, because, again, it's not starvation that you're actually fighting, it's just, like I said, a mixture of different things, so it would make sense that both sides take damage in that. And I don't mind that, it's just that the ratio of the damage taking is a little bit off, and it's attrition across the entire army, which I don't like in like Rome 2 and Attila and stuff like that. When you besiege a settlement, you take attrition damage, the entire army takes attrition damage, and it's equal attrition damage, if that makes sense. Like, the entire army takes attrition damage equally, so every unit will lose like 2 soldiers or 5 soldiers or whatever. And it doesn't matter if you're besieging a settlement that has a garrison of like 5 units or a garrison of like 500 units. Of course, there's no such thing, but you know what I mean. Like, the size of the garrison doesn't matter at all. The attrition is always the same. It's percentage-based. And that's what I really disliked about the attrition, more so than the concept itself, which I know a lot of people weren't pleased with the concept itself of taking attrition, just because you're besieging an enemy. Kind of feels like the game's punishing you for playing it, almost, in a sense. And I get why, I get the dislike, but I don't mind it as a mechanic. It's just the numbers of it I don't actually approve of and like. Let anyone ask me, I guess, but hey. Mostly stay in the game, like very few mods actually remove it, and very few people complain about it, but at the same time, kind of because nobody bothers to siege settlements anymore, you usually just assault on the first turn that you can. You just build like siege equipment and assault, or you get siege equipment via the by recruitment, right? So you get ballistas, onagers, stuff like that, and you just attack it immediately then and there. And I guess that's the other option that people use. Why am I taking? Oh, that's why I'm taking damage. Okay. It's like, why are my archers taking damage? They're not in any danger. It turns out, yeah, they are. Kind of are a little bit.
Great gods be praised! The enemy general is killed! Fear makes a home in our enemies' hearts!
Okay, let the right flank take over. You guys have all done a bit too much fighting against the enemy. We're going to let the right flank take over and finish up the battle. I will move in the Ricopay unit though, and well, I could move you two up as well. You're not that depleted, I guess. And I do want to use the cavalry for the last. Stretch over here. Go, charge. Oh, finally we're able to get our own horsemen in there. Well, huzzah, there we go.
This is a heroic victory.
400 dead. Not much. I mean, considering the generals and everything was alright, and it really doesn't matter at the end of the day because we're going to just replenish all of it in 1 or 2 turns, so yeah. Jupiter unfortunately has to go away, because you can't upgrade it. That's pretty much the only reason. I will get a shrine to Vulcan though, again, military administration, yada yada yada. I will get a shrine to Vulcan in here though. I think I would much rather have that than whatchamacallit, than Saturn, because I'm going to be recruiting probably the vast majority of my units in Sicily for a very long time. And, yeah. Cnaeus Silo, or Silo probably. 7 command, 5 influence. Jeez, that's a good general right there. That's someone to fear. Worry not confined to an island, but yeah. Still. Okay, I think we're done with the turn. We have construction laid out and everything, yeah. Path blocked. Do I want to check out the other, Yeah, I do. I forgot about the other one. Okay.
A most generous proposal.
Turns out I completely forgot about the diplomats.
Sir.
No surprise there, eh? Alright, next turn. I reckon it's about time we head on over to Taurus before they, well, visit Taurus before Taurus visits us, I think, is, what I need to do. It would be so amazing if I could somehow get the Brutii to help me siege it. The 2 of us sieging it together, it would be epic. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. They do have an army right there. You never know. You never know. It might even happen. Why do we have low taxes in Syracuse? Like, I'm really starting to get a bit peeved by the taxation situation. American settlers in the colony, in the 13 colonies, circa mid-1700s, right? So like a general period. Pillarized and all that stuff, yeah. Okay. Transgression, Epirus. What? What do you mean, transgression, Epirus? I haven't done anything. What? Okay, transgression, Epirus. Fine, I don't care. Oh, it's, is it the spy? It's the spy, isn't it? Probably the spy. You can go from here to there if you control the settlement. I did not know that. That I did not know. Okay. Yeah, I mean, oh well. What else? What else can I say? Yeah. All right. Let's gather up the new navy that I'm building. It's not a new navy. It's just reinforcements for the existing one. But regardless, grab the troops from here. Did I recruit? Didn't, did I? I'm supposed to recruit a unit of town watch or two to look after the place when I'm gone. But speaking of, would they revolt if I think they wouldn't. Okay. So the Legion is almost ready. But almost isn't quite. Let's build another ship there and have to retrain these ships too, yeah. That'll work. Okay. So, like I said, the Legion is almost ready to fight again, but not quite. So I'm going to bring it to Syracuse, or is it Messana? It's Messana, isn't it? Yeah, considering it's just about to finish an archery range, thank you AI, we're going to bring it to Messana. And then I want to build a large temple to Vulcan. Do we put it under military command again? And no, I'm not going to do that, but still. Upgrade to armor +1. Upgrade to armor +1. That would give us +2 armor, wouldn't it? Oh boy. Would give us +2 armor. Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe one day. Not yet. So, now that the islands over here are secure, I think we head down to Messana with this Legion, reinforce it, or replenish all its losses, give them new equipment, and send them either to Taurus or back to the 3 islands over here. In fact, I think it would be fitting if we send them back to the 3 islands over here, because they have so much experience fighting on islands already.
Yes, master.
I mean, Sicily's an island too. I guess technically all of our soldiers have been fighting nowhere except on islands, if you really think about it. But, yeah. Okay. I think that's it. I mean, it seems like a short and simple end turn, because I haven't done anything, but
Without delay.
I reckon we're kind of done.
A most generous proposal.
Without delay.
Okay, and you know what? I could be an absolute bastard,
Noble master.
and I probably will. And I could just... You know, we're going to need to make landfall somewhere around here. I know Carthaginians have towns along, I think, the southern Iberia. Why don't we bribe one of their settlements to join us? That would be such a evil and nasty thing to do, but I think doable because we have an amazing diplomat. So instead of having to fight for a landing, you know, on the peninsula and to start our campaign from there, instead we just bribe one of the settlements. They let us in and we start, you know, start the whole campaign properly without having to fight for a landing spot. An opportunity.
Ready to sail.
I see a very big opportunity. Go away. Don't need you. I see a very, very big opportunity. We sunk 2 of those ships. Lovely.
Set sail.
I need to make this into a big navy so I don't get bullied around by the Carthaginians.
Ready to sail.
My opportunity that I see is to sink this. However, if I leave, they're just going to go and land the troops somewhere around here, so never mind. Yeah, okay. An opportunity still exists, it's just that now it looks a little bit different. That's the only thing. Okay, we're heading to Masana, so let's just put all the troops in such a position that they may go to Masana soon. Cavalryman. Send you over there so they don't break out, even though there's no way they're going to beat a trireme. But might as well make extra sure, I guess. Man, who knows? One of these days, right? One of these days. Is there space for these guys? No. Okay, that's alright. How about now? Yeah, there we go. And you can retrain absolutely everyone, apparently. And you leave Enna and head to the port of Syracuse, because your next target is going to be Melita. Okay, and I think that's all the shuffling around that I had to do. Now we can just continue exploring with our diplomat. Find a good landing spot along this coast, after we take the islands, of course, and take things from there gently and neatly. Where is... I think I have another diplomat over there. I do not. Here he is.
You are mistaken, sir. Without delay, I shall speak with them at once.
Alright, and turn.
Without delay.
Tell you the one thing I also don't like about IS is the economy. And I don't just mean how everything is, all the troops are ridiculously expensive, cost like thousands upon thousands of Ducati, or Denari or whatever. It's not just that. I mean, that I could accept, I guess, in a way. It's the fact that Egypt as well. Okay. It's the fact that they've changed the way recruitment and buildings work as well. And now you have to choose between an annexed settlement and an allied settlement when occupying it. Even though you've occupied it, doesn't make a lot of sense. And then just generally the buildings inside the settlement. I don't like the new economy. It's just a matter... It's not bad design or anything. I feel like I need to really emphasize this extra. It's really not bad design. It's just personal taste. I prefer a more simple and streamlined and straightforward design that Total War has in pretty much all of its games, right? In all of its games, the design is relatively straightforward and easy to understand and easy to get into and stuff. In the mod, it's a little bit... How do I put this? It's kind of a little bit over the top with its complexity and stuff. So, yeah. I don't dislike it, it's just that I'm not the greatest fan of the economy, I guess. Okay, so retrain everyone so they get the proper equipment and stuff, and they're building a Legion barracks over here now. Alright, fair enough, I guess. We have stuff to retrain here that we haven't yet. You're not going to retrain them. Never mind. We need to get going. We'll retrain them in Masana when we come back, because time is kind of the essence, right? this is what I wanted to check out. So, character for adoption for Gaius Scipio. Again, it's the governor of Syracuse wanting to adopt someone else. Let's take a look. We might actually just do that if I go to the family tree. So, Gaius Scipio has adopted this guy, a 25-year-old, who's married a 35-year-old woman. Really? You better be producing kids, is all I'm saying. Yeah, I think you can adopt another son, because apparently you and your wife are having problems fostering children of your own. And this guy is younger as well, isn't he? So it's kind of a nice fit for him to have a younger brother. Yeah. And adoption not completed. Okay. The man is now deceased. I don't understand that. I find that only happens, or that mostly happens, when I open the adoption thing and then just look around the family tree, do stuff around the map, and then make a decision. Maybe it's just me being paranoid, but I feel like it does that when I have second thoughts about the adoption. And it just goes, yeah, no, you've thought about it too long. He's dead now. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it is what it is, right? Okay, so, he wasn't adopted, I guess, and now we don't have a commander for this legion in Messana. We'll see what we're going to do about that. I know what we're going to do about this, though. And that is, I'm going to land this army right on top of Melita and attack immediately. If I lay siege to it, they could leave the boats and actually try and fight me on land. And I would much rather have them stuck here, basically, and kill them at sea with ships and auto-resolve instead of having to fight a proper battle against a relatively sizable army. Okay. I'm also going to get away from Taurus and join this army over here. I'm going to have basically two navies running around. Or at least two navies that are combat capable running around the place. Okay.
Without delay, at once.
And there you go.
No more moves.
We've unstuck you from that position.
Awaiting your command.
Greetings.
And we're going to get some... we already have map information and things from you lot. What about over here? The settlement that used to exist over here is gone. I'm kidding. It's probably just a fort, isn't it? Or it was, rather.
Awaiting your command.
Okay. Brutii really have no intention of sieging Taurus, do they? This whole time I was hoping they would do it. I was thinking like, yeah, there you go. Settlement's there. Let's just let them have it. But no. Okay. Fine. It's another money-making spot for me to grab, so might as well. They're still in the ships. They are still in the ships.
Disembark. Orders. Prepare for battle. Begin the siege. Besieging.
We're just gonna assault that immediately, but until we do, let's just 30-year-old, too old for me. And I get to say that, and it's not. It's usually with the sentence "too old." There's some really highly suspicious things going on when you say it like that, and can be taken out of context in a hilarious manner. But this time, no, he's 30. He's too old. The joke here, I guess, being that I'm almost 30, so kind of shooting myself in the foot there. But you know. Okay, we don't have a ballista for this army, do we? Get me a ballista. Very important that we get one. Yeah, this place isn't much better for equipment and such. Gods. Okay. Fine. Have it your way. We're not going to have a good settlement to give all the best weapons and equipment to our soldiers. See, doesn't that sound ridiculous? It does, doesn't it? Sounds absolutely ridiculous. But it is what it is. Okay, we're moving this army down there. This one's done. Let's move the diplomats as well.
I will address them at once.
Greetings.
Like trade
A most
and
generous
information,
proposal.
please.
At once. Can I be of service?
You really? They're blocking everything off. Jesus, Spain is an absolute mess.
Honor.
Hispania is an absolute mess. I'm gonna keep making that mistake occasionally. I
Sir.
do genuinely apologize.
Honor. Moves
I realize just how I sound, but
Can I be of service? Moves deplete.
say without thinking, I'm afraid. Because I'm afraid to even mention this almost, but kind of funny, so I will. I've made mistakes of that nature, not like miscalling a country or a region based on a country or something along those lines, not like literally this, but I've made mistakes of this nature where I use contemporary language to refer to something in history or like a region or an event or something, and I've used the wrong word for it, right? That isn't necessarily accurate, and I've received death threats for it in the past, so yeah. And it was actually in a Total War game too. I was playing Attila, and I said something that people really didn't like. It was silly. I said that I was going to conquer something. Yeah, in a Total War game, I know. Shockingly. And they were like, well, actually, the faction you're playing didn't conquer this region, they liberated it. And what I mean by that is they improved the yada yada yada, and etc, etc. And I'm like... And they fought a war, they breached cities, they attacked cities, they besieged cities, they went inside them, they killed the occupants, the military part of the occupants at least. I'm not privy to historical information as to what happened to the civilians there, but generally speaking, after a siege, civilians didn't fare very well. In ancient times, definitely. Like, in ancient times, exterminate, the option available in the game, was pretty much the default option for everyone. It was just what you do, right? But yeah, it's like medieval times, not much better, I'm afraid. However, I really didn't mean anything vaguely political by it. All I was saying is I'm going to go and, do just that, attack a place. But yeah, apparently we got a number of people mad, and yeah, I mean, fair enough, I apologize. I learned a lot about the history of the region and the faction I was playing as, and etc, etc. I really didn't know much about them. I knew the general sort of story of where they come from some general history, but I learned some specifics about what happened in the Attila time period with that faction, and now I'm not going to say which one it is, because hasn't been that long, right? It's been a couple of years, but still, I don't want to... Some of the comments are still around, and I don't want to draw focus to them too much. And some of the commenters are still... Well, they might be subscribed to the channel now, for all I know. And like I said, I'm very grateful for the ability to learn from the people that were willing to teach me, and from the people that threatened my life because I said the wrong thing in the video game. I'm armed, so I mean, what else am I going to say? It's funny, but yeah, there you go. Alright, let's break that, and then I'm thinking I'm also going to shoot the walls. Now this is going to... How the hell did this building catch fire? Because we're shooting at the segment of wall over here is absolutely beyond me. I know for a fact the ballistas aren't that inaccurate, but... that might have just happened on its own. No, now this building's on fire as well. Did you light your own buildings on fire? Are you destroying the city so that there's nothing left when I leave? Because I don't know how to tell you this. It's an island city, or it's an island town. It's not even a city. I don't much care what happens to it, I'm afraid. It's there just to make money from trade and taxation. I'm not going to use it for anything else. Okay, your choice.
Show no mercy. The enemy walls are down. Make sure their soldiers are buried beneath the ruins.
Destroy that segment of wall 2, and we're going to be a bit tight on time with this siege. It's going to be a lengthy episode, but yeah, at least you can skip through most of this. If you're watching on YouTube, me, I have to manually go through all the walls and everything. Ooh, with the last shot, wow. With the very last shot, Roman military engineering triumphs once more. Lovely. Alright, get the archers in. Have fun, boys. Because I know for a fact you're not going to leave the town. Even after all the bombardment. So there you go. Is that the general there? Take it. Lovely. We took half the general out. Or half his bodyguard. Not half the man. That would be a bit cruel and unusual. I mean, I suppose we do have to kill him somehow, but the way I said it implied that we purposefully kept the other half alive, which is just cruel. No. But yeah, we managed to get most of his bodyguard. And a few more. He's down to 30. Okay. Tell you what. Brickapay. Go. We don't use them very often. We mostly stick with Triarii because they're the cheaper alternative.
Our soldiers have done well this day.
And so today, we're using the good stuff. Let's just say out of respect for our enemy. Not quite, but yeah. You see how they take the charge of an enemy general's bodyguard head first? And their numbers never blink, and they never lose, sorry, much of their men in the units. Impressive is what that is. In fact, more than impressive. It's outright scary. Well, there we go. The Mamertine king is dead. At what point did the fool proclaim himself king? I don't know. He owned a couple of towns in Sicily on borrowed time, so yeah, but regardless.
This is a heroic victory, worthy of Roman arms.
Indeed it is. And the Mamertines are destroyed, and Melita is ours. Not only that, the fleet they owned has disbanded, and all that's left is one pirate ship, which we're going to sink. So, yeah, there we go. The rest of the ships can go back to Syracuse to retrain, and recruit a unit of Town Watch, or rather 2 units of Town Watch here, repair this. Destroy the temple to Ceres, which, again, it's a Roman temple, but unfortunately the Scipii can't upgrade it. It's just going to sit there forever. At least it's not going to provide cultural penalties, because it's Roman, but, I mean, at least they thought that far about it, but, yeah, unfortunately, We can't upgrade it. We can upgrade all these buildings, though, and they don't provide any cultural penalty whatsoever, because they are just Roman. Italian and Roman buildings are identical in terms of factions, you know. So, yeah, these work, but the temples, not so much. Every faction or every Roman family gets its own set of temples, and they're all different.
Can I be of service?
Though there is a mod that lets you build all of the temples with all of the Roman families. Yeah, it's a bit much, because you get Temple to Jupiter and Temple to Saturn. They're identical. They're literally identical. It's just flavor text which one you want, and it just clogs up the build menu, honestly, more than anything else. So, yeah. All right, that's it. End turn. Lipara again has nothing to... Yeah, well, what can we do about it? All right, then next. After this, we are heading straight for Taurus, and I still don't have a commander for the Legion. And that will head to Taurus. I don't need one, necessarily. I can send the Legion without a general. There's no reason to have a general in one. I mean, other than, you know, the obvious buffs and the roleplay and night battles and etc. etc. So there's plenty of reasons, actually. But for the Siege of Taurus specifically, like just for the battle, I don't really need a general. You're going to do a longer campaign, then yeah, you do, but... that, 26-year-old drill master confident commander. No, he's just not that good, honestly. Popularity gain with the Senate. Wasn't I already the most popular living thing with the Senate? Or has my popularity waned a little bit over the... No, I am Romulus Reborn, there we go. Except now the plebeians also like me a little bit more than all the other Roman factions, or all the other Roman families, I guess. Which is pretty neat. Okay, let's get the army out of here. It'll do fine on its own. Join them there. Drop these guys off there. Let's change like so. And then you lot can just wait outside of town like that. Okay. Awesome. We're retraining all of them. Except we weren't supposed to do it here. We were supposed to do it in Masana, but Masana's a little bit busy now, so... Or I guess it's not. Like, not really. It's done, isn't it? Yeah. Oh well. Okay. We're off. The ship is off. We could recruit a general, and I think we will. I mean, this Legion is gonna need a commander for the long run, not just right now, and I don't want to adopt anyone else into the family, into the actual family of the Scipii. So instead, we're just gonna have a generic general that we're paying for, that's just on our payroll, not a member of the family. It boggles my mind why this isn't an option in the vanilla game. It really does. It should be. I see no reason why it shouldn't be an option. But what do I know, apparently. Okay, and I think we're pretty much done with everything. These guys are on their way back. And we're ready for the next stage, and I think the next few turns, up until the Siege of Taurus, I'm going to play off-camera. I'm going to get the infrastructure and the army ready to attack the islands over here and the coast of Iberia. And afterwards, well, we'll see. Maybe I end the... depending on its popularity, I'll be honest, and depending on how the series does, maybe I'll end it there, and maybe I'll do a few more episodes of actually landing in Spain and attacking it. But overall, I think I've showcased the mod plenty. I've showcased the faction, I've showcased the challenge of having everything on auto-manage and the frustrations of it, and how to deal with it. So yeah, there we go. It's a nice little mini-series. I had a lot of fun with it. We shall see how much more it goes on for. do have other things to play and some RPGs that I really want to sink my teeth into, both personally and for the channel, so we will see. Till next time, I'm now starving, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to go and grab something to eat. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video, want to stay tuned with the rest of the content that I produce on the channel, and if you're being particularly generous, Patreon and channel memberships are an option. Until next time, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.